everyone, welcome back to Museum Storytime with me and Albany Mouse. Can you give Albany a big wave and say hello? Hello. Good job everyone. So today for Museum Storytime, Albany has chosen Little Goose's Autumn by Elli Woollard as our museum story. So the first thing we need to do is make sure that we're sitting nice and comfy, isn't it Albany? So can you all have a big wiggle? Oh, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Oh, that's it. Get nice and comfy for the story. Good job. And Albany, what's the next thing we need to do? That's right. He said we need to make sure that our story ears are ready. Can you find your ears? Oh, here are mine. And here are Albany's. So starting at the bottom, can you give your ears a little wiggle? Ooh, wiggle, wiggle. That's it, wake them up for story time. And then the same to your tops of your ears. Ooh, wiggle, wiggle. That's it, but don't forget the middle. Wiggle, wiggle. Good job everyone. Albany, do you think you're ready for your story? Oh, you're right Albany. Albany says, it's not just him today for story time. He's bought a little friend. Albany, who's this? Well, he says this is a little goose, friend of his, and our little goose is going to listen to this story too. Okay, Albany. Well, I'll sit you up there beside your friend, and you can listen to our story. Little Goose's Autumn. While the fields burst with flowers the whole summer long, a tiny grey goose grew bigger and strong. And she thought to herself as she splashed and she swam, "This world is so fine and how happy I am." But then the green leaves turned orange and gold as the air became tinged with a promise of cold. And one apple red, dappled red, blease-born day, when the goose went down to the lakeside to play, she felt in her heart a sharp tugging pain, like a strange kind of longing she couldn't explain. And she thought, I've got something important to do. But what could it be? If only I knew. She spotted some beavers at work up ahead. "What do you do in the autumn?" she said. And they answered, "We bite through the trees to get wood, which we use to make homes that feel cosy and good." "That's what I'll do," the goose said. "I'll make this tree fall." But she found that the tree wouldn't topple at all. Then she spotted some squirrels and said, "Tell me please, what do you do on cool mornings like these?" And they answered, "We're storing our nuts in the ground so in winter there's plenty of food to go round." "Of course," said the goose, "that's what I will do too." But digging a hole wasn't easy to do. Oh dear. Then she spotted some bears and said, "Tell me, my friends, what do you do when the warm weather ends?" And they answered, "We're building a den, soft and deep, where in winter we'll curl in a safe, warm sleep." "Me too," said the goose. "That's what I'll do today." But all of her leaves simply fluttered away. Oh dear, thought the goose. I do everything wrong. How should I be? Can I ever belong? And waddling away, she went off to hide, feeling ever so tiny and silly inside. Little goose. She thought the wind called her, "Come on!" But when she listened, the whisper was gone. "I suppose I should just go back home," the goose said. But what was that shadow that loomed overhead? Was it a beast with a long sharp beak who would gobble a goose so tiny and weak? Or was it a monster whose wings were so vast they could banish the sun as it rushed on past? Oh, what shall I do? The goose thought with a cry, and then she glanced up and saw in the sky not a monster at all, but creatures like her, whose wings struck the wind with a soft, strong whir. It's other geese. Now I know, cried the goose. Now I know what to do. And she lifted her head up high, and she flew. Feeling free as the skittering breath of the breeze, she soared over mountains and rivers and trees, always pursuing the voice of the throng who called, "Little goose, join the flock, come along. We're off to the south where the air warms over our wings, where even in winter the sunshine still sings." "Oh yes," said the goose, "that's what I'll do as well." And as she rose upwards, she felt her heart swell with the joy of the wind as it danced and it swirled. "Oh, this," thought the goose, "is my place in the world." She's joined all the geese flying. The sun slipped low, then out peeped the moon, as the goose's old friends called out, "Please return soon." And she cried from the sky's vast oceans of black, "Goodbye, and I promise in spring I'll be back." Then onward she flew, while the stars seemed to glow with a shimmer of white like the first flakes of snow. The end. Oh, I really like that story about the little goose. Let's see what Albany Mouse thought. Albany, did you and your little goose friend enjoy that story? Oh yes, that's right, Albany. He said he really did, and that he's just learned that when it gets really cold, little geese have to fly away somewhere warmer, and that's what our story was all about. Good job, Albany. Oh, another good idea. Albany says maybe you could visit the museum with your household and see if you can find any little geese in the museum, just like the little goose in our story, and just like Albany's friend here. Albany, did your friend enjoy the story? Oh, she did. Oh, good, excellent. We hope to see you next week for another museum story time. Thanks for watching. Bye.